Do you want more? More time, more balance, more love, more sex, more money, more real, and less bullshit? This is the Women Wanting More podcast with Dr. Karen Osborne. Real life, real stories, plus real tips to get you more of what you want.
Let's talk today about patterns and habits and why it's really important, sister, to break those patterns at times, to break those habits. Sounds backwards, right? Because like, no. Daily habits, I got to be consistent. I got to keep at them. Yes. However, there's a time when you need to break up the pattern. In other words, sometimes the routines, the rituals, the habits, the patterns can now become like rote. Like there's so much of a routine that you might even go into an unconscious thing. You know, sometimes like you might be driving. Like I'll do this if I record a podcast in the car, or I'm just kind of zoned out a little bit, you know, where suddenly like you're going on a route that you've driven a number of times. Driving to work, like this is now the route for me to go from my drop off my kids at school to now driving home, and I'm going to go straight home, no Starbucks, straight home, straight into work, and so I've done it a bunch of times, and so sometimes I can be thinking about things, or I'm listening to podcasts, listening to music, and it's like then suddenly I'm home, right, or I'm close to home, and I'm like, whoa, like you kind of check out a little bit. I'm still conscious. It's one of those things where you drive, and if you've been driving for decades like most of us have been, it's like it's just an automatic thing. We don't have to be all engaged like at the beginning when you start to drive, right? We're like, I got to check my mirrors, what's my speed at, what's people around, with braking distance, like you had to worry about all these different things. But if you're driving a stick shift, like a clutch and then gas, and like you're going through all those things until it just becomes such a routine thing. So just like when we're driving and we're driving a similar journey, a similar path, a similar route, something maybe we do on a daily basis and can check out, we can check out in other areas of our life too. We can check out in a relationship, in our marriage. We can be doing date night on the same night, doing the same thing, having the same conversations. It's great. It's awesome you're connecting and spending time together. You can go to the gym and be doing the same routine on the same type of thing, or the same kind of class on the same days with the same people. Do you feel me on this one, sister? It is necessary to break up the pattern at times. It is necessary. Even if we just take a look physiologically, let's say in the body, right, with workouts, your body will not change unless you begin to change the things that you do. Your body will not change unless you begin to change the things that you do. Do you remember curves? I think they're still around. I was talking to one of my spin instructors about this recently. Curves is a women's fitness facility, women's only, that was typically designed for women that are bigger or that, haven't worked out like ever, really intimidated by like a gym type of environment. Great model to start. Okay? So here's what I witnessed in Curves facilities, because my husband and I were in practice as chiropractors. We spoke at one of the local Curves a number of times. We spoke to their members, we did workshops, did all sorts of stuff with them over a couple of years. And I would notice it was a lot of the same women that looked exactly the same, that were doing the same routine. And I know Curves might change up the circuit at times, right? Like you would go from machine to machine to machine and do this circuit, right? It was like, 20 or 30 minutes or something like that. It solved a problem of women that were feeling like they didn't fit, quote unquote, in a regular gym environment. They felt intimidated. But then what happened is the women would stay there. They would stay there. And I had patients that were there for years, still incredibly heavy. I mean, they're moving their bodies, so it's great, but it stopped, quote unquote, working, right? Like that habit, that ritual, that routine, that pattern stopped working because they were not changing. The change stopped when they stopped changing. Sounds like an oxymoron, right? In order for them to continue to see changes in their fitness gains, right? Either they lose weight, or they get stronger, or they get faster, or they're leaner, or they can lift more, any of that kind of stuff. You have to keep changing. You have to keep changing till we get that, right? We get that when it comes to fitness. But listen, this can apply to every single part of your life. You can become unconscious in the habits that really served you, but then they're no longer serving you because they have become that rote thing that you're just unconsciously jumping through the hoops. And so when will you know to change up that routine, right? Well, this is where intuition really comes in. This is where that listening to, this is when the feeling and the sensation that you have, like, we're going through a move in the next couple months, and so it's just feeling like we got to shake things up. We got to have some kind of a shift. We got to, just feeling it. I remember when we moved out here to Victoria. Now there was lots of parts and pieces to that, but it was just like, it didn't even logically make sense what we were doing. Just walked away from the practice, essentially closed the door, lost a boatload of money in that, because we looked for a buyer for like a year, and then deals would come up, and then they'd be close to signing, and then something would happen and it would fall through. And I went through a few times. We're like, we're done, and it's ready to move out of Alberta. People were like, what's your hurry? Why are you doing stuff so fast? Because it's time to move. It is time to shift. It is time to break the pattern. What we were doing, where we were living, all that stuff is no longer for. I mean, that's like a big example, right? But listen, it could be something really simple. So let me give you one of mine. So I meditate with a meditation device called Muse. It's awesome. It measures your brain waves. It's essentially biofeedback. And so you're listening to whatever kind of, different sounds. I like the ocean ones. That works for me. I'm a big water girl. And you're hearing the waves calm as you calm, like in the process of meditation. And if you go really deep states, you hear little bird tweets. So it gives you that biofeedback, that instant. It works really well for me, right? I was doing 50 minutes in the morning, and then I think like 5 or 10 minutes at night. And I started doing different meditations because it was still, meditation was still great, right? Exercise is still great. You're still moving your body. Spending time with your spouse, your partner is still great. But it came to a point where I'm like, I need to start switching stuff up. And I started doing different types of meditations. And now that's serving me even better. And then we'll get to a point where I'll be like, okay, now it's time to switch that pattern. I was boxing for 2.5 years. Yeah, 2.5 years. And I started, I've had some injuries. I had 3 fights that were supposed to happen, or like tournaments. And 1, there was no opponent. 2 were injuries. The second injury, I found out there was also no opponent for me in my age category, not age category, age doesn't matter for that, in my skill level. Not a lot of female boxers here where I live in Victoria, BC. A lot of kickboxers, but not a lot of women boxing. So they never happened. So I started to listen to that, and it was just this feeling. And I even connected with my coach recently, said, you know what, I'm ready to come back. He's like, great. And then it was like the day before, and I'm like, this doesn't fit for me anymore. And it doesn't matter the reasons why. It just doesn't. It was time for a change. I started taking spin classes back in late fall of last year. Kick my ass. They still do. I'm walking every day. I'm doing burpees at home, a number of burpees every single day. Like, it's working for me. It's working for me. And I'm starting to feel this want to maybe go back to lifting again, because I lifted weights for like 3+ decades. Always thought it'd be part of it. Same thing. We moved here, and I was like, it's not going to work anymore lifting for me. And I never would have, right? It was time to start to change the pattern, to break up the pattern. So here's your more tip for today. I want you to take a look at an area of your life. Maybe it could be, we've talked a lot about fitness, right? Maybe it could be that. Maybe it could be the work that you're doing in your business, right? That's also something that's really shifting and changing as I am. And that's reflecting into this message. It's reflecting into how I'm coaching, like all of it, right? Maybe it could be in your relationship. Maybe it's how you parent. I don't know. It doesn't matter. Pick one. You're going to know one where you're like, yeah, I'm kind of stuck in, like you'll feel like you're stuck in a rut. You're either not seeing results anymore, or you just feel like it's time to change. But, change is scary for pretty much everybody. Me too. Like, I do like change, but it's also scary. Like, it's both of those for me, right? So we often find, well, you're going to stay in the same place because it's familiar. This is why, again, the subconscious programming, you've heard me talk about a lot of different episodes. We might even stay in a place of pain and sadness only because we know that. It's crazy, right? Like we just keep going back to that because it's something that we know, it's familiar. So understand that when you decide to make this change and this shift and to break the pattern, it's going to feel uncomfortable. So be okay with that. There's going to be massive resistance. Be okay with that. Do it anyways. Do it anyways. So that is your more tip. Figure out an area of your life that you're in that rut. You feel need to break the pattern and decide what you're going to do, big or small. You're a big girl. Figure it out. You don't have to ask a million people. You don't have to do a poll on Facebook. There's going to be something you feel pulled to. Dance has been something for me too. I feel really pulled to, and I signed up for a hip hop class. Went to the first class. This was about a week, maybe a week and a half ago. It was 2 weeks ago, and I go to the class. Never taken a dance class in my life. Okay, so it's hard. It's hard for me just to like sign up, show up. I'm kind of scared, but I'm kind of excited too. I'm like, yeah, I want to dance. Let's do this, right? Let's throw down. Let's go. I want to learn this really well. And I get there, and it's just all choreography. It's clearly not a beginner class. So I contacted them, and I said, yeah, it's kind of turned into intermediate classes. A lot of past students. So okay, it's not a fit. I'll find something else. But I'm feeling pulled to that. I'm feeling pulled to go back to yoga again as well. So what is that thing? And then just do it. Take the steps. Sign up for the class. Whatever it is, sign up for the race if you want to run, like whatever. Okay, sister, a couple things finishing up. Number one, I am taking on three clients for one-on-one coaching this summer. 3. I'm going to be spending some more time with my kids this summer. We're moving, and so there's lots of stuff that's going on right now. So 3 clients. That's it. And it's, really, it's what I've really come to understand. It's what I do best. Yes, I have online courses for a lot of you that have taken and have said, oh, this is really great, or got a lot out of it. It's wonderful, right? Yes, I'm still giving away free journals. You can still grab yours at drkarenosborn.com/free journal. But if it's something you've been listening to this podcast for a while, or something's just telling you of, yeah, I really want to do this, right? I want to have one-on-one coaching. I really want to. I have something that's coming up. This is really designed for women that are like at a crossroads in their life. They're trying to figure things out. They don't know where to go. They feel lost. They feel confused. And maybe you're having this spiritual awakening moment like I did a year ago, which was like, who the hell am I anymore? Scary. Move through it. Figured out how to really teach this and how to guide and support women through this in a loving space, not in a punch you in the face kind of space. That's not how I coach anymore. Radically different. So if you're feeling called to this, here's what you need to do. Email me, Dr. Karen Osborn, so DrKarenosborn @gmail.com. And it is by application only. So I will send you the application and we will start the process together. I'm actually getting on the phone as I record this with the first woman, because I just started talking about it yesterday. I already had like one woman go like, yes, let's go. Got the application sent back quickly. She got through the next step, which is a phone conversation with me. And we'll see if she's really a fit for one of these 3 spots. So if you are feeling called to this, sister, send me an email, drkarenosborn @gmail.com, and say, Karen, I'd like to apply for one of those 3 spots in the summer to coach with you one-on-one. And I will forward the application to you. So I will talk on the next episode, sister. A life of more is just one step away from you understanding that there's times when you need to break up the pattern every single day. I love and appreciate you.
To get the show notes of each Women Wanting More episode, including the How to Get More tip, subscribe to the newsletter at drkarenosborn.com/newsletter.